Hello everybody. In the last 1 week, the US Labor Department has released unemployment report. Microsoft has missed their corporate earnings. Nvidia has highlighted that they are not going to come up with their new AI chip as per their original schedule because of some design flaws. And there are a few other news that came up in the market which has pushed the entire market into that recession fear. And what is it all about and how is it going to impact your job and what you should do next? Let's talk about these things in this video. And also before you continue, please go ahead and click on that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because let me tell you, these things will keep coming up in your conversations, coffee conversations, manager conversations, whatnot. And having a good idea will also help you to sit back and be relaxed when all around you there's a lot of chaos going on. So let's start with what is this unemployment report all about. So in July 2024, US added 114,000 jobs as per this US Labor Department's report on employment data. However, the contrary, the expectation was that US will add 175,000 jobs. So what happened? This particular job report did not meet the expectations of the market, and hence there is a panic, and hence there is again a talk about the recession. But the question is, how is this job data related to recession? Very simple question. The first and the most important point, if there are not enough jobs created in the market, the unemployment rate will increase. When the unemployment rate increases, people are not willing to purchase so much. They do not have the money to go and spend on items which are not very critical. And this will reduce the consumer spending. When consumer spending reduces, the overall profits of the companies also which are selling goods to these consumers, that will go down. So this is a loop by itself. And it is not just about employment, unemployment. There is also another angle, which is the interest rates. And how does this come into picture? Let's assume a manufacturing company, and this manufacturing company wants to set up a new plant and potentially create more jobs. But what is happening right now in the market? The interest rates are at a historic high from the last 2 years. So companies are saying that, hey, I would rather wait for the interest rates to go down so that I can borrow money at a lower interest rate. And then I can go ahead and set up a manufacturing plant and create new jobs. That is the way in which the companies are thinking. And why is this interest rate at such a historic high levels? Again, because in 2022, 2020, when COVID hit the market, there was a lot of money coming from the government into the market. And to reduce the flow of money and cut back on consumer spending, the Fed has decided to increase the interest rate slowly, and it never dialed down. Now the question is coming from both the quarters. On one end, unemployment rate is increasing as per the latest data, and on the other end, the interest rates are also very high, which is pushing the companies to not spend. The consumers are not spending and the companies are not spending. What would happen? This is the ideal state for recession to hit. But let me take a step back and say why this is just a one-off data element. In July 2024, there was a hurricane in the US. The southern states of US were highly impacted, and that could have led to temporary job losses. So we never know if this employment report by itself is actually indicating a big scenario, or is it just a small blip in the overall story. So for that, we need to wait for another month. And on the other end, the Fed has already said that we are going to cut down the interest rates in the next 2 months. So all in all, both could be positive as well, and this fear could be unnecessary. We just do not have any kind of concrete evidence to say, yes, this is recession versus no, this is not recession. Now let's move into and understand what's happening on the corporate front. Microsoft, when they released their corporate earnings a week back, which is before this employment data came into picture, they mentioned that their cloud computing business, Azure, that revenues has come down, or that revenues has started to grow slowly, right? Previously it was growing at 20-30%, now it is growing at 10%. So the growth has slowed down. And the investors who are betting big on AI have started wondering why the growth has slowed down so soon. I am expecting bigger returns from AI for a much longer period. That was a concern. The second concern was around Nvidia. Nvidia has also mentioned that, hey, we are not able to come up with our latest chip design as per the schedule because of some flaws in the design. That's another bummer for the AI story. The third point from the corporate world is Intel has announced that they are going to lay off employees. Intel, Nvidia, all these are the fundamental base layer of companies which are important for AI to move forward. And this has pushed the investor trust a bit into, hey, is this something good or bad with respect to AI? So these are the questions that the corporate is asking, and this is the question coming from the government data, and all of this is creating chaos in the market. And the issue is all of this happening at the exact same time. So now look at what can we do. The first and the most important thing is there is still demand for a lot of specialized skills. Microsoft in the same earnings report highlighted that they have added 7,000 plus people in the last quarter. And out of this 7,000 plus people, majority are going into research and development space. Number two, Intuit has laid off 1,800 people recently. But the positive news is they said they are going to refill all these 1,800 positions once again with the folks who have AI skills. The third one, the IT companies, TCS, Infosys, Wipro, HCLs of the world, when they announced their quarterly results less than 1 month back, all of them were very positive that, hey, there is definitely some way positive indicator that has been coming up in the market. One of the bedrocks, one of the most important industries for Indian IT services companies where they make a lot of money is banking and financial services. And the revenues, the money coming from banking and financial services industry itself is on a rise. So if you look at the data coming with respect, hey, is the recession possible or not? There is not too much of a concrete evidence. But if you look at the other positive end of the news, there is some concrete evidence with respect to jobs. And most of these jobs are coming in the AI space. So what do you do is the $1 million question. I would say prioritize. Prioritize your time and see if you can spend your time learning Gen AI. Absolutely, whether it could be a simple tool which could help you go into some support role, or it could be learning a model through some kind of programming language, doesn't matter what it is, but you need to start adding this skill. This particular quarter, in my understanding, is only a starting point where companies like Microsoft, Nvidia, Intuit, they are just going to start hiring more and more people in the AI space going forward as well. So no worries, but you need to take action from your end as well. See you again in the next one. Bye bye.